It's the sure sign of a good time. The just right taste of Bud Light. Here we go.
This is the Players Lounge on 101sports.com from Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill.
All right, we are back at the Players Lounge, Papinga's Players Lounge at Hot Shots on 94. We're having a great time. Monday Night Football just kicked off. Did you like playing on Monday night?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I know I've heard you talk about it, and from a disruption of the routine that we learned to live in, and for DeMarco and myself, that routine was so fixed. You knew what you were going to do on Thursday. 26 months from now, if somebody tells you, what are you going to do at 3:15? You know exactly what you're going to do at 3:15. But I must say that I don't know, the teams that I've been with, there was just such a juice about Monday night. You just know everybody's watching. And I know technically Sunday night has the biggest viewing, but I think from my standpoint, Monday night was always special. Maybe it even goes back to my youth.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Monday night's Monday night. I was so excited about our first Monday night game, but man, like tonight, right now, I'm thinking about food and sleep.
I know.
Now, I can't be thinking about, knocking the other guy's head off. But, I mean, it's something to get used to. The good teams have to, and that's the NFL. So looking forward to this Monday night coming up in Seattle. Number one, it's going to be loud. So they're going to have the crowd noise on their side. We talked about this with Adam Goldberg, how to protect a weakness on your offensive line. How do you think the Rams can go about beating Seattle in Seattle?
Well, there's going to be another big task because, as you know, Seattle plays tremendous at home. That 12th man is the real 12th man. I don't know to me if there's a tougher stadium in the country right now to play in. I was amazed the first time I went in there. Again, in this situation, DeMarco, the way they are right now, not even knowing who the quarterback is, I think really I could come up with a million scenarios. I know the front's real good. Mm-hmm. I could attack certain guys on the team and give you all these X's and O's. But at this stage, I think the Rams just have to get together and be what they are. And that is, I think it always has to start with Steven.
Right.
I do think that the one thing they've got to be able to do is they've got to work Steven out of the box. I think that teams are really, like Seattle the first game, San Francisco, they're catching up with just the zone offense because what they're doing, their defensive lines are holding up our linemen and the linebackers are just fitting in there almost free.
Right.
Seattle started it when we played them 2 weeks ago.
Have you seen a linebacker making a tackle on Steven Jackson that's unblocked?
Unblocked. It's just, our ex-guy that we threw out here, Grant, came through there like a stampede.
Looked like an all-pro.
The problem that you have, and this has been an issue from the beginning, and this is even before the injuries, our offensive line has been weak, and I saw this in preseason at one thing, both run and pass. They never get to the next level. When they go to scoop block, it's two guys stay on one. When a guy slants in, the second guy never gets off on the blitzer.
Right.
They're really wired in. They never play, and they are athletic, but they never play with athleticism. You never see the second level blocked on a run, and you never see the second guy get off on the blitzer, and you end up wasting 2-on-1 a lot.
Is there any way – well, I guess what I'd be thinking is how can I take the crowd out of it? And I know I might be whistling Dixie, but you're going to have some type of explosion play on special teams. Something to sure. I know it's funny, but you're going to have someone that brings the ball out of the end zone and breaks a big one, or at least a medium-sized one, a punt returner that scares somebody. You're going to have that in Seattle to shut those people up. If not, they're going to they're going to drown you out with the noise. I know you're looking at me like, who? Where? Where do I get it
where's
from?
Horn? I mean, that's a genetic issue here, Coach. When we get a kickoff past the 20, I'll buy you a steak.
Oh, I know.
It's just a monster. I've just never seen anything like it. It seems to me like we fair catch like 200 balls in a row.
Well, what about
we
something
take balls
fancy
out of the end zone to the 12?
What about something fancy?
Of course.
Keeping two guys back there, giving something else to think about.
I'm with you. At this stage, you take your shot at anything.
Anything. Right.
Anything.
I always thought the worse you are base-wise, the more creative you get with little gadget plays.
There's no doubt about it.
What do you got to lose?
See, like myself, I think basically if it's tough sledding inside, I advocate throwing quick screens outside.
Yeah.
Well, we threw one. Well, hell, throw 20. What's the difference? No, I'm serious. Why not come back to it? I know 20 is an exaggeration, but you threw one play to Pettis out there. He gained 15 yards. You worked on the stiff part of the San Francisco team. It's the same thing here. You got to get this team out of the box. You got to get Chancellor in space. You've got to get Wright in space. If you're going to run at Big Red and those guys all day, that'll be tough sledding.
Right.
I mean, they'll be feeding off Ichiro and those guys out there.
Well, I think this is where it turns around for the defense because now you have your hands full again with Marshawn Lynch. This is a team, Seattle, that's going to be dedicated to trying to run the football, and this guy can make you miss. He can bounce out, and he can embarrass you.
I'll tell you the other thing that they do a really good job of. They did a great job against Philadelphia, and it scares me. You know, the Rams basically don't – actually, the Rams play the powers, leads, straight-ahead stuff pretty well.
Yeah.
They really do. I mean, even Sunday, they played that stuff well. Every time you get a counter – or what I call that wrap play that starts here. And this is what Seattle does a great – what do you call it?
The bend.
The bend.
Yeah,
the bend, yeah. We call it the wrap. You know, what starts over here and somebody sneaks back, and, man, that's the play that scares me this week with Lynch. I mean, you know, and the biggest problem is Coach Spagnuolo is forced to pressure because they just don't hold up with straight defense a lot. And so what happens is you pressure, and then all of a sudden – they hit one, and it's huge.
Right.
It's huge. It's like feast or famine in that system.
I'll tell you what got me hold my rear at the game, and it was a lot of things. But Justin King goes out, so you're down one corner. So you got Gordy left, and you got Rod Hood. And then Rod Hood gets dinged.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, if this guy can't play, if they go three wides, what do you do?
Yeah. No,
how do you line up now?
I thought for the first time, actually, since the beginning, since the original injuries where there was a couple weeks where the Rams were really hurting in the secondary, and it didn't hurt. It really didn't get so bad in the secondary, but they played so much coverage it killed the run defense.
Right.
But in the last month, those kids have stabilized and has played well. I thought Sunday was the first time that the secondary had a bad game. Not so much, I mean, in the overall pass yardage, but the edge plays. I mean, bad tackling, and then missed tackling on the Williams play. Hood showed his warts. I mean, I thought, the first time once San Francisco said, okay, you guys are going to stop Frank Gore today. You are doing a good job, so we are going to run now on the edges, okay?
Right.
And once they did that and started throwing on the edges, then that secondary part of it, to me, really showed the warts for the first time in a while.
The first couple of plays came right at Josh Gordy. That was by plan.
The sad thing about the King touchdown is he should have had help to the post. And the guys that screwed that up were the guys on the other side, Gordy and Michael, because they played the run fake, so the X-receiver who they should have had came blowing through there, and Dahl had to pick him up. Dahl should have been free in the middle. So that's why King's looking so funny. He should have post help on that. And, again, that was, Gordy and Michael over there just jumped the run fake, which happens when you got a good run offense.
It does. And I said this before. I said this to Steve. If it was 1975 style NFL football, I think Craig Dahl would be an all-pro.
He had a pretty good game.
If you're running the ball 90% of the time, he's the guy because he's coming straight downhill, hell-bent for leather. He's a guy that can hit you. And Quentin Michael, God bless his soul, played everything right except for 2 plays.
2 plays. The edge plays, and that's the problem you get with the Rams. You just don't have that guy that can do it all. You're exactly right. I mean, I love Craig Dahl, and he played one of his best games. But again, if you get him strung out with a Jenkins or a top receiver, and that's what happens today, where the game has changed. You say 1975. Where it's really changed in the last 3 or 4 years is the use of top players on the inside of the formation, because those offensive guys are smart. They know those corners get paid. So they're coming to work at the mullets.
Right.
They're going at the guys that can't run, and you're getting isolated at safety all the time now.
Yeah. Tiger on the golf course, genius. Tiger Woods trying to cover Larry Fitzgerald?
Bad knee.
Bad deal. So, look, Coach, it's going to be interesting. Can't wait for this week to get back to practice, get back to work. That's the one thing I do like about the NFL. No matter what happened on Sunday, there's always another Sunday coming.
Always another Sunday. I always say, we had the basically the life cycle of a fruit fly. You had 24 hours, and basically you're so busy. We were, as a media, we're always talking about how it affects you, and when you're in the middle of it, you're just
you don't
working.
Even know.
You're just working.
You
You're just task-oriented. You're on the next day.
I didn't even know who the president was when I was playing.
Oh, I know. If you did, I'd have been mad at you.
All right, Coach, thank you for coming by.
Thank you, DeMarco. Absolutely
Anytime,
loved
you're
it.
welcome here on the Players Lounge. We will talk to you soon on Papinga's Players Lounge on 101 ESPN and the Rams Radio Network.